Hey, what's up?
Hi,
Uh,
Narcissus.
we were so busy running our mouths a little second ago. We almost missed the start time.
I
Excuse
know.
me. My greedy ass was shoveling food in my face. So I gotta clear it out. I tell you one thing, this workout shit is already starting to kick in. Cause the thing is, on my off workout days, like I did cardio today, but
Hmm.
my body, because I've spent the majority of my life as an athlete, as soon as I touch weights, as soon as I start training, it's like my metabolism automatically does this. Okay, and
We're back.
certain things go up, if you know what I mean, and
Hmm.
then other things, like my metabolism really explodes. So I was like
Yeah.
snarlingly hungry, where they would have been no show if I didn't eat.
What
Well, what's
sport
up
did you
with you? How
play?
was your weekend? Because you went to Cancun this weekend.
My weekend, it was dope. It was beautiful. It was very vanilla, but it was really beautiful. And
Boo.
I know, but it was great family time. We came from three different states: New York, Ohio, North Carolina, and we all met up in Mexico.
Ooh. I mean,
Yes.
Temptations is right there. I'm surprised you didn't, peek in for a day or so.
I
Little day
know.
pass situation.
We wanted to, but we were napping sometimes and
Napping.
and enjoying the beautiful views. Like it was beautiful, the water, the trees, the we did like three excursions. Some of us did like five. It was a
Three
very
excursions and five excursions. Ooh, y'all was fancy.
we were outside. We were outside. That's why we had to nap.
Y'all was getting too old for this shit.
Listen, we were out all day in the sun. We were like, listen, after all of this swimming in the ocean stuff, and we almost died. We almost died at one point where we went snorkeling, and it was not snorkeling. It was like the boat drops you off, and then you have to swim like a mile to get the boat again. And
No, I did that. I did that. And that shit was wild because let me tell you something about me. A lot of people don't know the science on this, but everybody's body doesn't float the same. It's based on the molecular structure of, hey, Chrissy, what's up? How you doing?
hey,
But the thing is, what they don't know about molecular structure is that some people's bodies have less space between the molecules than others. That's what
mm,
determines your body's physical buoyancy.
okay,
Me, I clearly am one of those people with not too much air between my molecules because even with two flotation devices connected to me, my ass still was like when I would not let myself, when I wasn't actually physically swimming, I would start dunking on under and I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta
oh
swim back.
no,
Yeah, so it was a fucking mess. But yeah, that excursion is a lot of fun, but it's also kind of freaky because there's no floor underneath you.
there's no floor. I thought I was gonna have an asthma attack. I was like, oh.
That's great. That is
It was
so
fun.
good.
It was fun. It's memories. Anything that's not a great memory is just memories. Like we made memories on this trip.
Right. That's beautiful. That's what it's all about. And that's something that a lot of times people forget to do in life is so long but so short at the same time.
So
And you
true.
have to realize that sometimes you can't take any day that you have for granted.
Right.
Something's really wrong with this thing. You can't take anything that you have for granted. You have to enjoy every moment that you have as if it is your last because you never know when that time is going to come.
Hmm.
And that's going to be essential. What we're talking about today, as we're going to segue into that. Look at that. I'm doing smooth transitions and shit.
Okay.
This is like some organized, like fucking conversation here. Like, we got bullet points. Well, she does. I don't write nothing down.
Gotcha.
But, you know what I'm saying? But basically, this is going to be the dating booklet because, and this is the official one because A lot of people might not notice about Nova, but Nova is actually a licensed therapist.
Mhm.
So Nova has a lot of knowledge and has dealt with a lot of things too. So it's a lot of that, you know, experience dealing with people, sociology, psychology, and all of that other stuff blended into one.
Yes.
So, like I said, without further ado, we are going to make this a dating booklet because people need to take this and share this with their partners so they can get little clues. This will involve even whether you're LS or vanilla. A lot of this stuff will pertain to you the same way because a lot of things are just automatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the first thing is, how about we start with the approach? Now, Nova, I'm gonna kick this to you because I want to hear how guys like to approach because I hear a lot of funny stories. I actually saw one today. It's kind of anyway. Go ahead.
They well, in my experience, they don't approach it well. It's just a hey, what are you doing? And it's like I actually just told someone in my inbox, like, what are your intentions here? Because, and then they said, like, oh, my intentions are to get to know you and spend time with you. But I said, okay, I was going to have to go beyond what are you doing? And hey, like, you need to converse a little bit more. So, usually the approach is like, hey, you're beautiful or blah, 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 blah. But it's just a lot of compliments. And then it's like, okay, where is this going? So the approach isn't always good. I like the more direct approach, like, hey, so I'd like to spend time with you. We talked about that a few weeks ago on Pillow Talk, like, what is the approach, right? Being more direct and clear. I think it was you and Sir Leezus with Jonathan that night when there was like, okay, let's talk about what your intentions are. Let's be clear because then we know how to move from there. So
Right.
usually the approach is not as clear as it should be, and I think that's just a pointer for people approaching other people.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's fair because I think a lot of times one of the places that people fail most is on the intro. Like when they first walk in, you got to understand. And I mean, I understand this is pressure, and people are like, "Oh my God, I'm not going to know what to do." I feel nervous or whatever. Listen, I get it, but the thing is, like for the fellas, y'all got to approach better because a lot of times you can't approach a girl, "Hey, what's good?" And then the first thing you do is send that peen pic into an inbox. But you know what I'm going to say. Take a guess
What?
what I'm going to say. You've watched the show, you've been on it now. Take a guess of what I'm going to say. Men only do things because they work sometimes. If women would stop allowing the dumb shit to work, then it would stop happening.
So how do we stop it from happening in terms of, because I don't think it works. I think it's just like you get the pick and you're like, oh, here goes another one. And then you just ignore it and you just hope that they stop inboxing you or you block them.
No, well, honestly, I mean, the problem is it's a community thing,
Hmm.
but that's why we're having this conversation here because as a community, we have to stop the behavior by making it awkward when that happens. We can't keep allowing people to send stupid ass pictures. And the thing is, because some girls, they're going to see a dick and they're going to be like, "Ooh, he got a nice dick." And he might happen to be an attractive guy or something like that. Because y'all got to admit, there's a list of double standards. I will tell you, because remember last week I told you. Remember, not even last week. I said that on on y'all show, on not y'all show, on Pillow Talk. I said that in the comment where I was like, when I'm in my asshole energy and my asshole mood, there's literally times when I'm approached by multiple women within the day
Hmm.
while in my asshole energy. But when I'm walking around, I'm just feeling normal, feeling nice guy, whatever, whatever. Ain't nobody paying me no motherfucking mind. And I'm a hard person to miss.
That's not true, Maximus. I think people are paying you mind. They're just not being as direct as in the asshole era.
No, but notice a woman will faster. And remember, and I've said this, I think I said this on the thing last week,
Hmm.
but it's not about what women say they want in dating. It's about what they react to. They react to certain things more than others. Jonathan agrees with me. See that? What up, Jonathan? John, it's true because I'm telling you. Like in one day, it was like 4 or 5 women just coming up to me, hey, what's up, what's up? And I'm just doing the same shit that I normally do. I'm always in all black. People swear I'm some kind of vampire or something because I always got black on. But that's my casual clothes. I like black. It's part of my energy. You know what I'm saying? But
I think
I'm
it's the
pro
type of
black.
women. We pro black, right? But I think it's the type of women. I think that's always going to be my retort. That's always going to be my response. When you're in your asshole era, you're going to attract those unhealed women who are attracted to the asshole. But when you're in your nice guy era, it takes time. And you won't be as easily quickly attracted because I need to see that this is consistent before I jump on it. And what you just said kind of proved my point because now it's like, okay, I was on my nice guy stuff for about a month, but now I'm back. It's
I
like,
think you
oh,
just hit on. I think you just hit on a bar very big there. A lot of unhealed people are attracted to other people who have damage. Damage is attracted to damage.
hmm
So when you're seeing, now granted, I honestly didn't pay these women no mind because my brain is in a whole other place. Like I am on a whole mission right now.
yeah,
So I couldn't have
congratulations.
cared less.
You just passed an exam, right?
Oh, fuck, that was the hardest. Listen, let me tell you something. I've taken the SATs. I have taken. I looked over the bar exam test questions because there was one time when I was considering being a lawyer when I was in college.
You'll be a great lawyer.
Um, I thought against that because I didn't have the patience for all to read it, and I also looked at the NCLEX, which, if you know that, that's a nursing exam. Because I
hmm
was thinking about going to nursing because I heard that male nurses make a hell of a lot of money. Plus, I could get into the administrative roles in that field. Something else I was considering. I'm one of those people that tries to learn how to do everything. Uh, anyway, I will tell you out of all of that, this was one of the hardest fucking tests that I ever did in my life. And I mean, I squeaked by and passed it, but I still passed
That's right.
it.
A pass is a pass.
Right. And I mean, they try. And the thing is, I paid a whole 12 grand for fucking school. And I tell you, half the shit that was on that test, thank God I studied things outside of my school content. Because half the shit that was on there, the school never even fucking touched on.
hmm
So
That's right.
there was that. But nonetheless, let's see. I told you about me derailing. Don't let me do that. Yes,
Right.
let's get back
But we
over it.
had to celebrate the accomplishment because that was huge. You
Yes,
made
I
it to last
appreciate
week.
that.
So
I'll take my little bow and shit. But
yes.
now, like I said, so where was we? He threw me off now. I
Oh,
forgot the
because we were
fuck we
talking about how
is.
you get focused on something else. Like you're not even paying attention to that
Yes,
test.
I'm not paying. I couldn't have cared less about those females. Like I just was like literally, it was so weird. I'm sitting in the car and these two girls walk up to my car, and I'm looking at them, and they just looked like they were up to something. And I didn't trust them. They were talking to me, but I had the window cracked this much. And let's just say I was in ready position. So in case anything was to try to transpire, I was ready to respond. But and I was on a very busy street, so it wasn't like I was in some bad area. But the thing is, what I'm saying is approach is everything because it starts with the approach. A lot of times people don't use a proper approach. Now, if you want to use a proper approach, fellas, it's gonna take you. You're gonna have to use like it's way easier online because you can actually just look at their font, look at the things that they respond to,
hmm
all of that stuff, and you can kind of figure out, okay, I'm gonna, I can, okay, I see she likes this, maybe I'll give a little compliment, whatever.
See, but
When
that's
a guy,
easy. That's easy though, right, Maximus? If you pay
hmm
attention, that I think that's not. I think that's what ladies want. Ladies want you to pay attention. If you know that I respond to this, or I liked this, or I reposted this, or something like that, a tea or a wine or something like that, then
hmm
you showing that you pay attention, I'm gonna respond to that.
right,
That's the approach.
that's a beautiful approach, and that's how you should be doing it.
hmm
Because I think a lot of times people don't take the time to pay attention. It's actually amazing to me like how amazed a female can be when they realize that you actually pay attention to stuff. It's like, holy shit, you actually noticed what you remembered? Wait, but how? Because I mean, I guess a lot of us men are selfish. We're just thinking with our dicks and whatever else. Here's a little hint, ladies. We're still thinking with our dicks. It's just some of us can compartmentalize and say, okay, dick information over here. Let's pay attention to this stuff over here because this
Mhm.
stuff will then allow this stuff to be good. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's what I see personally. Let me
Pay
see
attention.
here.
Pay attention to what the lady likes. When you pay attention and she responds well, you're on a good track. This is good. We like that. We like that in dating. That's good dating right there.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Like you have to pay attention. Now, here's a here's where I guess the rubber meets the road. Once you pay attention, you got to say something intelligent. Say something witty. Say something that makes it sound like you have a couple of brain cells left in your head. Don't come and be like, yo, ma, damn, that ass fat. What's good with you, baby? Da, 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 da. And I mean, I'm going to say it's especially in a lifestyle. Just because this is a community, a sexualized community, doesn't mean that you have to lead off with mentioning a physical attribute of their body. You know what I'm saying? You can just give a generic compliment. You know, I think you're beautiful. I would like to take you out. Like to get to know you. Blah blah blah. Something, whatever comes to mind. I don't really know because I'm not good at making up lines. My statements are fully organic. Like much like I do this podcast, I talk on the fly. I don't think this shit out before I do it. I just happen to get lucky and not say something stupid most of
See, and I don't have that much experience in the LS, but like Pillow Talk was saying last night, DF Nation, they were saying in
the
the
Good plug.
LS, it's actually more attractive to talk about things non-sexual, to do things non-sexual because it's so sexualized.
100%.
Hmm.
I don't understand why people kind of find that so difficult to believe because if you just took 2.5 seconds to pay attention, you would realize that what's understood doesn't need to be said.
Right.
So we understand that this is an environment of sexual intensity, sexual exploration, and blah blah blah. But there's nothing wrong in making a statement to say, "Hey, I want to get to know I want to get to know you and see what's up first." Or even if you are, like I said, and we're speaking on the LSI because we're both lifestyle, so we tend to lean that way more.
Right.
Um, even if you find yourself just wanting to play date, approach, whatever, there's no lady that does not want to be treated like a lady. You can disrespect her when you get to the bedroom or when you get to whatever fucking you do. That's when, if she's into the whole degrading and disrespecting, you could kick that in. But
Hmm.
on the initial approach, before she know you like that, come with a little respect. Now, let me talk about these females.
It's all right. I got some notes for the females.
Let me talk about these females because, ladies, when you do see somebody and you're interested in them and you decide you're going to be bold, because it is bold when a woman approaches a man. But if you decide to do that, what I suggest to you is that come with, like once you get his attention, understand that you have to keep it. There's a lot of women circling around the man that you likely found amazing enough to want to approach.
Hmm.
Because a regular dude is not getting approached like that. So there's something special vibrating about his energy that made you feel bold enough to approach him. Don't botch it once you get his attention. That means you can't take 500 years to hit him back all the time. Let me tell you something. I will say this because this is how I operate. I operate like a business person in everything that I do. And the way that I think
Time is money.
is that exactly,
Mhm.
if I see a woman approaching me, I'm like, wow, that turns me on. Like, oh, that's sexy. She approached me. Damn. I'm not going to front. That shit turns me on a lot because I know it takes a special kind of energy to be bold enough to make that step, especially to me, because for some reason people seem to find me intimidating. I don't know what that's about. But nonetheless,
We know.
that being said, you know, I roll my eyes at that every time people tell me that shit.
It's
But
the tall, it's the dark, it's the straight face. The first time I met you, Maximus, I don't even think you knew I was in the same space as you. I was sitting on the bench. It was paintball, and you were on the phone. I think you had an earpiece in and you were like talking to someone or something like that. Just completely like disregarded anyone you did not know in that space. And it was like, ooh, who the heck is this person? Right? And it wasn't until later in the day where you were like more sociable and you smiled a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, hi, right? Like
I
that.
mean, that's just the Brownsville in me. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Ain't a whole lot of room for smiles and chuckles where I grew up. So I tend to sometimes naturally have a resting mean mug or something like that,
That's
even when
exactly what
I
it is.
don't intend to do so. But for the most part, I'm actually fairly a friendly guy. You
Mhm.
know, as long as you don't cross me, it's pretty much a good situation. You know, so
So what do you say to the ladies then, right? Because you said once a lady approaches you, she's got to be consistent. She's got to keep your attention because not just you but men. Um because there's other women,
yeah,
right?
this
You
ain't
guys are
about me.
surrounded.
This is about men in general. But we can use me as an example because I will tell you the level of patience that a lot of men that are viable have for wasting time.
So, but I think the thing is, and this is what I wrote down is what about the women who are like, I'm not into the competition, right? Like, I'm not into competing for your attention, wanting to make sure that you see me, pick me, right? Like, what? How does that woman approach and be relevant for you?
Well, I'm gonna make this really simple for you.
Okay.
Nobody cares about how they feel about that because, to be honest with you, we are in a world of competition. There are 7.2 billion people, I think, on this planet right now. And guess what? You're competing in everything that you do. You're competing for the eggs that you're going to buy. You're competing for the shoes that you want because there's a whole bunch of people that wear that same size as you, and you better get to it before they do because then they won't have it in your size when you get there.
Hmm.
Everybody's competing.
I feel like what's meant for you is for you.
No, but that's bullshit. That's lazy.
It's not lazy. It's not
It is
lazy
very lazy. Let me
because
tell you
you're
something. I'm gonna
yes.
tell you, I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean to cut you off, pardon me, but I
Please
just
don't.
gotta say this. One of the number one things that makes women end up with the shitty ass dudes that they do is the fact that they are very lazy when it comes to putting effort into a relationship. They want everything to come to them. They feel like because men naturally approach, men naturally ask women out, men normally take the lead in doing this, that, and then the third. They don't realize that they have to come with effort as well.
Mm.
That energy has to be matched. You can't just sit back and say, "Oh, what's for me will be for me." No, because let me tell you something. I am a good match for about a good percentage of females,
Hmm.
just based on my stats versus what they say they want. We ain't going to get into the weeds of what they actually react to because we spoke about that already.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, based on what they say, somebody that's of this physical stature, of this, somebody that's employed, has education, blah, blah, blah. You go down the list, all the little things. I check a lot of those boxes off, just using myself as the example on that. And I
Mm.
will tell you this I could be for you, or I could be for her, or I could be for her. because it's a matter of who I like and who likes me back. And if both of y'all are liking me, but one of you is actually taking the energy to show me that they like me back, while the other one's just sitting back saying what will be, you will find yourself being alone when you should be next to me.
I like that. And I do appreciate that. And what you're describing is the stability that women look for. And that's true. I think dating is just exhausting. And it's like, all right, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of dating. I'm tired of the good morning. I'm tired of the what you doing. I'm tired of, like all that stuff is like, ugh, what else? Like, what next?
So, and this comes to phase two. Once you do get their attention and you have their information, the next thing you want to do is you want to set up a plan. Like
Hmm.
me, I'm a planner. I like to plan stuff. I don't seem organized because I don't write shit down. I just learned that I can't front. I grew up in the era of Jay Z. I grew up in the era of a lot of hustlers.
Hmm.
I was around a lot of them. So I have a habit of not writing things down because they always taught me. And I mean, it was a habit they was telling me because they were doing other kinds of things.
Right. You don't
But
want nothing coming back.
the thing is that I just have a habit of applying a lot of stuff to memory. So in my mind, I'm looking like, okay, she loves Hello Kitty. Maybe I do something with her that allows her to interact with that Hello Kitty thing. I'm gonna fall on the sword for a minute. Ain't no man gonna laugh at me because I got a lovely woman by my side and we doing
Thanks.
this Hello Kitty thing while I'm grabbing them cheeks. You wanna laugh at me? You laugh while you jacking your shit. I'll be grabbing these cheeks. So you go ahead and laugh. I ain't got no shame in my game and my manhood is fully intact. You
That's right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't give a fuck. So if she's into Hello Kitty, then we gonna go to Hello Kitty, and I'm gonna make the date centered around that Hello Kitty thing
Hmm.
because you want to show that you put thought into it. Because a lot of times it's not how, and a lot of times like dudes got to realize it's not how much you spend.
No.
It's about the effort that you put into it. Because she might
Yes.
be the type of person that loves looking at the view of the city. You live in New York City, you could take her to Battery Park and just set up a little picnic situation if it's warm outside and fucking go down there and fucking just eat and whatever. And she will be gushing because she loves that view of the city.
Yeah.
And you remembered that. And you might have only spent money on some food. Hell, you could have just bought some sandwiches and brought them over there.
Like we could have bought the
Whatever.
bread and the deli meat and the
Right.
mustard.
Right. But
Okay.
like there's ways to make things cute, to make things creative. I think in this day and age, creativity is a lost art
Yes.
in relationships, which is going to take us to the next dimension of the relationship thing. But go ahead, because you got something you about to throw out there. Come on, I see
So
it.
I wanted to say, because we talked about like things that we pay attention to, and I wanted to say, and this is me coming from your perspective a little bit, is paying attention versus attention seeking. Because for women, I think one of the mistakes that we make is we are paying attention to the man, but we're not paying attention to who he is or paying attention to who we want him to be. And
Mm,
because of that, we end up in these relationships with someone based on probability and not reality. And so that's an error that we're making in these first two stages. Is like, okay, like now say we see you and you're good eye candy, but we don't notice that you don't spend time with your children if you have children. We're not paying attention to the fact that your bills are behind. We're not paying attention to the fact that you don't respect your parents, things like that. Those are things that it's like, oh well, they must have did something to him, or like I talked to one guy once, and his children's mom was someone I went to high school with, and she was nice, she was kind, she was beautiful. And when I told him like, "Oh, I went to high school with her," he was like, "Yeah, she's just ugly." And I was like, "She's actually really beautiful." And he was like, "I mean, her attitude is ugly." And I was like, "She's been nothing but kind to me." You know what I mean? And so to me, that was an immediate turnoff, because it's like, you laid with this woman, you had children with this woman, not just one, and now you're bad talking her. you have a different commitment to her than you even have with me right now. How will you treat me? You know what I mean? So like things like that, I think that's where women kind of get it distorted. Like we make up our own perception, like, oh well, if he just gets this job, he'll be able to do this, or if he just does this. That's not true. It's like we have to accept the person for who they are in that moment, because them changing is completely up to them. It's not up to you. Oh wait, I can't hear you. Your mic is off. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm back. My bad. No, this is the thing. You be dropping some bars because you said something and said the guy doesn't you they don't like the guy for who he is. They like the guy for who they perceive him to be.
Yeah.
And that is a bar right there. Cause that shit happens so often. You know how much I enjoy receiving the money when I get these consultations. I ain't mad at it, trust me. But I'm just saying the reason why I do this because I can use that time to make money other ways. But the fact of the matter is that I love love. I like to see people winning. I like to see people like when I see, especially in the lifestyle, when I see a relationship, just the people are just happy and they're just functioning well and they can get out there. And I've seen couples, they get nasty. But at the end of the day, they got each other. They love the hell out of each other. Can't nobody get between them. None
Yes.
of that stuff. And that is
Hmm.
so big. And this is where we're gonna segue into that next step, which
Hmm.
is once you establish a relationship, you have to discuss your terms of how you it's basically like negotiating a contract. I know it sounds, oh my God, these conversations had beforehand avoid a lot of heartache in the back
Long
in the
run.
end of it. In the long
Yeah.
run, thank you. My mind.
Gotcha.
But in the long run, these things will fuck up your relationship.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say the most essential things. Like I said, I've parroted these things before, but I'm gonna say these things every single time because they're so essential. You don't let nobody get in the middle of your relationship. If there is an issue, it is to be dealt with in house first. You don't tell your friends. You don't tell your family. You got to leave them out, especially when it's things that emotionally make you upset or any kind of way, because they hold on to that and form resentment for your partner. And now you have negative energy pouring over your back into the relationship. And believe it or not, that energy transference is very real.
Yeah.
And it's very easily all of a sudden you're looking like, why is my relationship in shambles and everything should be good? I said, because you got everybody in there, mama, involved in your shit. So I would say the number one thing is confidentiality. You keep everything that y'all deal with, talk about, say, see, or whatever, you got to keep that shit in house because
Is
the
it
more people,
confidentiality or communication
mm-mm,
first?
I'm gonna say because communication is a prerequisite.
Okay.
We're talking about the ingredients that go once you've already established communication. Now it's how to communicate properly, what
Yeah.
not to communicate,
Yeah.
and some things you need to just keep shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And it's guys too. It ain't just women. Guys be talking to their boys, yo, man, shorty getting on my nerves. She be nagging me. Now your boy looking like, man, that ball and chain, fuck that shit. Come over here and come cheat on her with these shorties. You don't give a fuck about her like that anyway, so blah 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 blah.
Hmm. That's right.
That's how he
That's
gonna
right.
look at it. Or even one better. If you got one of them scurvy ass dudes in your camp somewhere and he hears that shit, he's gonna look and when your back is
Slide
turned, he gonna
in.
push up on your chick.
Hmm.
Because he gonna look and say, number one, you be cheating on her anyway. And number two, he's gonna look and say, You don't give that much of a fuck about it because you're always talking about all this shit about how she ain't shit, she ain't this, she ain't that. But that them titties is nice and that ass is fat, so fuck that. I'll bust her ass. I ain't gonna wife her. I'm just gonna clap it. And so I'm gonna push up.
Yeah.
Now you got disrespect forming into your ranks.
Right. Right. No, and you don't want that. I think it's important to know once you're in the relationship, you got to know like each other's triggers. You got to know each other's childhood experiences. You got to know all those things. It's not your responsibility to heal them, but it's your responsibility to be aware of them. Because if you
Hmm.
know that, like for me, communication is important. And even though that's part of the, prerequisite, it's part of the maintenance too. And so if you're communicating in one way into the relationship, that has to be maintained. And so
Hmm.
that is part of the maintenance part. And you got to maintain the communication, because then to me now I'm second guessing. And as a woman, your communication helps me to feel more affirmed. And that is what we need in the relationship. So now we're in a relationship, okay, we're not having anyone interfere, but we're also aware of each other's pressure points.
Oh, I like that. Pressure points. Those are those vulnerable. For those that don't understand what pressure points are basically vulnerable parts of your emotional matrix. Things that can be considered sensitive spots or hot points
Hmm.
that will trigger a conflict between the two of y'all when they're agitated.
Hmm.
So you want to be mindful of this because a lot of times when people are mad at each other, whatever, they tend to hit below the belt. They'll hit those pressure points just to trigger them, just because they want to do something that sticks to them. Especially like I've had women try that with me because I tend to be fairly stoic. So it'll drive them crazy because they're like, yo, he's not even flipping out. He's not wilding out. I'm saying all shit. I'm doing this, that, and the third. And he's just chilling. And I'm like, that's not my energy. I'm like, listen, if there's a problem, let's find a solution. Not let's go back and forth about it and all we doing is this because it's a waste of time. So I'll just sit there and look at you like you stupid while you sitting there fussing and yelling and doing all this shit. And I'm like, okay, now that you've gotten it out of your system, let's talk. Oh, that pisses them off to no end.
It's tough because you got to know like why they feel like that, right? And so for me, stoicism is not cool with me unless I
Mm,
know, like, you have to communicate that you're stoic, and it's not that you're not receiving me, it's that you're processing and then you're solution oriented, not because you don't care. Because then if you look at it, I remember I was in a relationship with someone for 5 years, and whenever I got emotional, he would leave or he would go in another room, and he would kind of just like be quiet, and I'm like, no, I need you to come closer in that time, right? And he is like, well, I
mm.
figured you need space. Right? And I'm like, no, I don't need. And so
See,
like that.
he was doing the wrong thing. He was basically ignoring your emotional reaction and he was hiding from your emotional reaction because he didn't want to deal with it instead of confronting it. Like me, I'm not going to walk away. I'm going to sit there and I'm actually listening because there's times like I'll be on the phone and someone will think that, hello, are you there? Da, 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 da. Oh no, I'm listening. Like I'm listening to everything that you're saying. I just am processing and I'm taking it in. And they won't realize that I'm really listening until when I finally do speak, because I'll be quiet and I'll listen to them. And then I speak and I'm repeating and playing back a lot of stuff they said and incorporating into a solution. Da, 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 da. And they look like, wait a minute, so you really was listening? Yeah. Because me, I came from the school of where men are problem solvers. Men are not supposed to get as emotional as women do. We have our emotional moments too, don't get me wrong. But we're men. There's certain things that are just a given, and it's not supposed to be fair. So all those crying, oh, men have feelings too. Yes, we do. And we're going to get to that in this conversation. But what we're saying is that it comes to a point where you have to you have to take the lead and stop crying for a second and not react to her emotionally. React to her with intelligence, react to her with confidence, and react to her with logic, because when you hit her with that logic, yo, what up, Sean? When you react to her with that logic, what's going to end up happening is no matter how much she's trying to argue with you, a person can only argue with themselves but so long.
I
And you're
can't
not,
agree. I can't agree
no,
with
and
you.
you're, but no, but think about this. You're not, you're not walking away. You're respecting their feelings and what they're saying and you're listening to them. But you're not emotionally responding back, because two people emotionally responding back, all that's going to happen is this and nobody hears anybody.
But the opposite of emotion isn't logic.
Oh no, but this
It's
isn't using opposites though, honey.
okay. So my thing is, if I'm being emotional, I don't necessarily want a logical response. I just need to know that you're listening and you hear my perspective. That I think solves a whole lot of problems, because sometimes it's like I don't want a solution. I don't need your solution. I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me out. I need you to hear what I'm saying and let me know that it's resonating with you. And then if I need a solution, I can let you know that. But y'all men be jumping to solutions and be like,
Mm-mm,
that's not what I
mm-mm.
need.
Hold on, time out, time out. Now understand, a relationship is two sides. You said a
Yes.
whole lot of I. There was not one we
Ah,
in that entire statement, which is the first problem.
okay.
Because you gotta understand something. His solution, he's thinking of we. You're thinking of me. Instead of we, this is you flipping the W over to me. That is where the problem lies. Because
Mm,
you and I, that's why I got closer to the camera. 'Cause I'm looking at you and I'm listening like,
I see you.
because you cannot lay all of that stuff at a real man's feet. When he sees his woman is in pain, the person that he loves is in pain, his first thing is, what can I do to end that pain?
Mm,
Not, oh, I'm just going to sit here, hold your hand, and cry at your side with you. Of course, we're holding your hand, we're the shoulder to cry on, and we're consoling. But while we're doing that, our gears are turning to say, what can I do to fix that problem?
mm. Okay. I
So
like
you
that.
have to, because if you're going to listen, if you want a man of character, a man of emotional intelligence, like Pharaoh said down there, if you
Right.
want a man like that, you have to also understand the prerequisites that come with it. He's
Mm,
going to be thinking solutions. Just like when you have a queen, she's in her queen energy. She might be the type that moves in a certain way. She might have a certain dominance about her or a certain submissiveness about her, depending on her personality traits.
mhm,
You have to understand what you're signing yourself up for when
mm.
you are agreeing to date somebody. Because a lot of times people don't think about that. They're just looking at the surface level shit. And then look what you just said. Oh, I don't want you to find me a solution unless I ask you for one. Excuse the fuck out of me.
That's not how
Who
I
is you
said it
talking
though,
to?
Max.
No, you did say that.
I
I
said
could
that's not how
rewind this
I said
shit.
it.
I could rewind this shit, and that's exactly because when you were talking about it, you were starting to channel the emotions you were feeling the last time you had to say that to somebody. I was watching, and the fact of the matter is that I told you I pay attention to everything, so you ain't gonna get away with much around me.
Okay.
The thing is that you have to respect the man's methodology just like he has to respect yours. He has to respect the fact that you're going to be more emotional than him. You're gonna have to deal with, sometimes she might be a little bitchy even when she doesn't mean to be. She might be going through something else, but it might lie on you because you're the person she loves and trusts to be able to dump all her baggage on, and you'll treat her with no judgment. So when
Mm,
she's acting like that, you have to recognize she still loves you. Their love did not go nowhere. She's just going through something, and you have to be the emotional rock. You have to eat it. That's our job as men. We eat a lot of shit.
yeah.
Like it's a part of what we do. Just like women are more nurturers and caregivers and stuff, we are the bulletproof vest of the world. We protect you from all that bad shit, and sometimes we're the ones taking the shots from you. It doesn't mean that you're a welcome mat. You're not a sucker. Because I ain't nobody's sucker. But my whole thing is you have to be the one to absorb that because you're supposed to be her safe space. And once
Right.
she gets it all out, she's gonna go right back to loving on you again.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
and while you're doing that, we're like, how can we permanently solve this problem?
Okay.
And you know what you should be saying? Thank you.
I
I
knew you were gonna
love
say that.
and appreciate the fact that you care so much about me that you don't make it just a me problem. You turn every problem that one of us have into a we. Because, and you know, there was something that somebody said to me about synchronicity and synergy.
Hmm.
If your relationship doesn't have those two things, synchronicity and synergy, it's not going to work. It
Right.
doesn't matter how good the sex is and how good all the other stuff might line up to be.
Right.
You need those two.
Yeah.
And this was a mistake that Nova made. Just see Nova do it.
It's true. It's true
You
because
said, how many
I wasn't
times did you
thinking
say
that.
I? Exactly, because you wasn't thinking about we.
Hmm.
If you say you want to have a long-term relationship, you have to get out of the I business and get into the we business because it ain't just about you. When you are just like I can't just think about me. Whenever I'm doing something, I'm thinking, how is it going to affect us? If I'm doing something life changing, or
Yeah.
if I'm eating some food, it's whatever. But if you're doing something life changing, you have to think about the unit. Or if you're doing something that will emotionally or physically affect the other one, you got to think about the unit. That's something that's lost too. And I got to say this: a lot of times, women tend to be selfish when it comes to this, because as men, we're always thinking about solutions. Though some of us are selfish too, yes, but more often than not, and you just heard it from Nova, she didn't even mean to, and she's a
Right.
sweetheart.
Yeah. No,
But
you're right.
she just said a whole bunch of I and not one we. But then said because we the thing is we do use each other, but we're not utilities
Right.
to that degree. Like I'm not just here to do your bidding when you say. You understand? So we have to be considerate of each other.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very important.
Hmm. I think that's
And
where I think that's where it comes from is making sure that you're thinking about we because when you're feeling for me as a woman when I'm feeling really emotional
mhm,
it's hard for me to even consider things outside of that. I'm definitely an emotional being. I know that. I confess that. And so I do need the balance of the logic and the okay, how are we going to solve this problem? And I think that it's because as a single person, that's not my experience right now. So it's tough for me to put myself into the relationship mindset not being there.
I really love talking to Nova. Might have to keep you because I really like talking to you. Reason why I say this is because she just says things that automatically stimulate another bar. And here was another bar. You said, and you did this indirectly. You said they tend, because you're single, you tend not to think like that right now.
Hmm.
But as you're single, and I know you're going to see where I go with this when I ask you this question. As you're single, what is your intention? Are you intending to stay single and just have fun and live life? Or are you intending to find somebody to share in your adventures with? What is your current mind frame?
That's a complicated question.
What's
The
complicated about it? Either you're interested in having a partner or not. It ain't hard.
I'm interested in having a partner.
Stop there.
Um,
Stop
okay.
there.
All right. I'm gonna drink right now.
Because you're interested in having a partner, you have to be. It's kind of like remember the adage: you have to dress for the job you want.
Ah,
Now you see where I'm going with
I do.
your mentality has to be tuned into the frequency that you want to operate on. The
Yeah.
reason why a lot of women meet a lot of raggedy ass dudes is their brain is on a frequency where the dudes that they see are the ones that are vibrating on that same raggedy ass frequency that they on. The reason why they don't see the other ones and those guys get skipped over It's because those guys are vibrating on a different frequency
Mm.
and they're not hearing them, not realizing that the frequency that they're on right now is trash. They think that this is the whole bandwidth. It's not. It's only one frequency in the spectrum. But you have to understand whatever, excuse me, whatever it is that you want, you have to start off in here first. It all starts from in here and in here before it goes out there. Because whatever you believe and whatever you feel is what you're going to draw to you. That's just the physics of the universe. You can try and apply that in any way, shape, or form you want. If you walk into a job interview with confidence, shoulders back, head held up high, firm handshake, eye contact, and look like you want to be there, belong there, you have a 65 to 75% higher probability of getting that job than if you walk in there, oh, how you doing? Yeah. And you're not speaking up for yourself. You don't look like you're confident. Even if you're talking all the right, answering the questions all the right way, the way that you project yourself is how people are going to perceive you, and that's how they're going to treat you.
But is that the same in dating? Because
Yes,
I can't. I think that in dating, it's the filter of your own experiences, not
I'm
the other
gonna show
way
you. I'm
around.
gonna show you. I'm gonna show you another example.
Okay.
I meet two girls. Well, no, I don't even need to use two girls. I use this for one girl. I meet a girl. I come at her like I would come at anybody. I come in with the same respect all the time. That's the one thing I do to everybody. It's
Hmm.
always come with that respect because I was born of a woman. I'm not going to shit on women. You understand what I'm saying? I might not always be perfect to them. I've been an asshole to some, and my apologies, but shit happens. You know what I'm saying? My thing is that um, I start off with a basic approach, and based on how they engage with me, in those engagements, they're showing me how to treat them. Because my first default is, and I'm just saying me, I don't know how every dude approaches, but
Hmm.
my first default is I give you queen energy first. Unless you show me something else, even if we just finished being the nastiest sluts ever in a swing party, whatever the case may be, outside of the physical activity, I'm still opening those doors. I'm
Hmm.
still making sure you're good, doing all the stuff that I'm supposed to do to look out for a female. And I do
Gotcha.
this for females whether I'm sleeping with them or not. Like that's just how I treat women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I open the door. If I see somebody struggling their stroller, I help them to bring it up. You understand what I'm saying? Like these are just automatic things because when you operate in the energy on a regular basis, you don't have to try to do it. You just live it.
Right.
So I operate like that regularly. And in doing so, a lot of times women will show me and they'll show me, physically show me, oh, don't treat her like that because you can't even really take her serious. She's all over the place with shit. She don't barely respect herself. She go through a party, play with like 3, 4 people, don't even wash,
Hmm.
all types of stuff like that. And now my view of you is starting to, skew, starting to fade. Because when it comes to a person of interest, I am judging. That is an example of somebody being how you can kind of figure out, like, okay, this is how I'm going to treat them. That's an example of that right there.
Yeah. The box that you're gonna put that person in, and I can agree with that because um it's I feel like it's the same for women. As a woman, I know that if I go to a man's place and it's organized and they have like books and all this other stuff and that you can tell that they've been reading, it's like, okay, I can take you a little bit more seriously than someone who, place is looking like a very not organized and all that other stuff. I'm being
Hmm.
nice. But yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. We put people in categories and we start out by putting them all on the same playing field. Everyone is on the same playing field until you open your mouth, until your actions show differently, and then it's like, okay, now you're leveling up or down depending on how you're acting on me or acting
Right.
around me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've seen. Like I'll go into one's place, a place is nice and organized, whatever. I got nerve to talk because I tell you I'm a scatterbrain and I work too many hours, so I just toss shit. I'm not even gonna be on here and be fake. You know what I'm saying? I need to organize more. I probably could use a little bit more of a woman's touch on this and shit. But honestly, I'm on a mission right now, so decor isn't my focus. So I don't give a shit. Basically, I keep I make sure I clean up, and I mean, my big ass be on my hands and knees scrubbing shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'll do shit like that, or I'll hire a cleaner and let them come through, do a deep clean, whatever the case may be. I've done all of that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but aside from that, also looking at their behaviors. Like I said,
Yes.
because you can have the nicest, neatest, whatever in the world, and then you open your legs and it smells like chicken at the sea between there. That's a behavior. You know what behavior that is? That's called your
Hygiene.
hygienic behavior.
Hmm.
That's a big thing. Or if I noticed that you went to bed and woke up, went to the store, and didn't even reach for a toothbrush in any of those exchanges, I'm watching that shit.
Me too. Me
You
too.
understand what I'm saying? Like I pay attention to that stuff. If you talk to me constantly and I've been talking to you for almost a year, but yet I've never even heard of you not once seeing a GYN, and I'm like, now I know women have to do that at least every few months or whatever to make sure everything's good. Especially when I know you in the lifestyle, giving it up all over the place. You're
That.
supposed to be, making sure everything's functioning on the up and up. Because I know I go. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my whole, you have to like the way like I feel like this. If you don't even take care of yourself well, there's no way you're gonna do right by me.
Right. Right.
Because if you can't even keep your own head on your shoulders, how the fuck are you gonna do anything to help me out?
And
At
that's
the
in
very
every
most, you would
sense.
be a bird. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I was gonna say, and that's in every sense of the word, right? Like mind, body, soul, financially,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, everything. Like, how are you connected with yourself? How are you connected with your spirituality? How are you connected with your history, your family, all that stuff? I need to see that because then that's gonna dictate how you're gonna be able to treat me, how you're gonna be able to maintain this relationship. Are you good with relationships? Are you good with communication? Are you good with what do you call compromise? Are you good with those things? Because if not, then it's like, all right, I can't, then it's not going to be good for us.
That's a fact. And hey, Lambs, what's up? And I don't know. You can't see the comments. I know, right? Yeah.
Not on the
So
Facebook, but I learned my lesson. I'm on the YouTube on my other phone.
uh, multitasking for the win.
Yes.
And okay, so what was I gonna say? There's another thing. Now I want to touch on the financial part because it's another part of the relationship thing. Um, it's okay to have a hard time sometimes.
Mhm.
I would say maybe if you're having real hard times, maybe not the best time to date because dating costs money. Might not be in the budget. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can't help when you find love and you try to make it work regardless of the fact that everything isn't perfect.
Mhm.
Sometimes that love can actually help you weather the storm that you would have never weathered by yourself.
Yeah.
There are many different avenues that can be taken because you never know why somebody's put into your life.
Mhm.
You know, whether you believe in God, the spirits, the energy, or whatever, sometimes people are meant to intersect with each other to help get each other through something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if you ever saw that movie Bruce Almighty, you never saw that movie.
Is that with
Well,
Jim Carrey and Morgan
yeah,
Freeman?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the reason why it's funny is because in that movie, he's praying for a sign. While he's praying for a sign, there's literally 10 different signs in front of him telling him not to go that way. He ignores them all, goes around the truck, and because he ignored them all, he flies off the fucking ledge and crashes his car.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sometimes when something's being put directly in front of us, it's because we're meant to fucking engage with it.
Mm.
We don't always do that. Often we look and we think that we have all the answers. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know shit. Everybody always says, oh, you think you know so much because you experiencing this, that, and third. I'll tell anybody in a second. Teach me. I'm willing to learn. Whether
Yeah.
we in the bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, or the dining room, there's
Uh,
always something I can fucking learn.
So how do we then interact with people, right? Like financially, because as a business owner, as like a hardworking person, like I'm financially okay. I'm not wealthy, but I'm okay. I think that can be a barrier in dating and in relationships and trying to figure out that balance because as a woman and from women I hear a lot of like men asking for things right off the bat. Now that's much different than if you're in a relationship, you guys are established, you guys have a foundation, and then like okay, people have hard times and we support each other, we carry each other, we get through this together. But in the dating phase, what does that look like and what are the boundaries?
I'm gonna get to Farrell. I'm gonna get to that statement he made in a minute because he put up a nice statement there. I know you can see it,
I did.
but this is the thing: if a guy is starting off the rip with his hand out or his dick out, kick him the fuck out.
I agree with that.
Do we need to? Do we need to? Is there any more question there?
Nope, that's it for me. That is
No,
it
listen.
for
And
me.
no, what I'm gonna say is ladies, I get it. More than likely that struggle dick be looking good because a lot of dudes that be on that shit, they pulling out that thing, and you like, ooh, damn, but I still kind of want to try that though. I'm saying, mm-mm. Don't get yourself caught up because y'all know how you are. You got a heart in your pussy, and you got a heart in your chest. And sometimes when that dick hits the right heartstring in the pussy, next thing you know, he in that heart in the chest too. And now you caught up in a situation watching this motherfucker move into your crib with his PlayStation and his one duffel bag of clothes.
And
Talking
that's not
about,
okay.
but
That's
the
not
thing
okay at
is
all.
that a lot of times y'all set yourselves up for that shit. And let me give you a little secret: us hardworking niggas got dick too. Just saying. The only
I
reason y'all don't see ours as much is because we too busy making money to just be standing around wiggling our dicks all day. But trust me, when we step up to the plate, we swinging for the fucking fence, okay?
speak for y'all. Speak for y'all, Max.
But the thing
I just
is, it's quality over quantity.
but I'm telling
Choose
you
which one you
that
want.
a lot of women. I actually had a whole single women's group earlier in the year. And there's 7 women and it was 7 melanated women in this group all experiencing the same thing. These are women who are, they're established and they did what they needed to do to establish themselves. They're looking for someone not who's necessarily financially on their level, but someone who's stable, and it's hard to find that.
Mm-hmm.
Are we telling
No, no,
people to
no,
like,
no,
share,
no,
and
no, no.
subscribe?
No, no, when I do the sorry, I gotta remember you don't know my habit. The thing is, I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm just don't want to interrupt you while I'm telling people to hit the like button. See, they're following. They got the hint. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yes,
There we
but that's
go.
but that's the concern is that okay, now you're interacting with people and you're interacting with these men who are just not where they need to be, and it's like what the heck, like it's discouraging, it's disheartening, and it's frustrating.
And that's fair. But again, I gotta go back to the default statement. Y'all keep letting these motherfucking struggle bunnies in your crib.
No, I think that's where the discouragement comes in is that we're like no, this is not, no, this is not okay, this is not okay, but you find yourself saying no, this is not okay 85 times out of 90.
And but it only takes those 5 times to put you in a fuck shit situation.
Okay. All right.
And the thing is, no, okay, hold on. First of all, I got to go back because I don't want to lose Farrell's statement. I want to acknowledge this. He put up a whole comment here. And this is very true. And this we could actually roll this into what we're talking about. He
Mm-hmm.
says some people carry so much of their past relationships and experience with them. They don't have space to entertain new energy. That is very much true. And that also goes into this because a person has not gotten their shit right or even put themselves on a path to have a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, here they are trying to get with something new, and they're carrying a lot of those old bricks, old debt, old bullshit, old everything into this. And the thing is, let me tell you something. Most of the country's in debt. Most of the country barely has $500 in their savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the country lives check to check, and it's understandable. I bought 2 bags of groceries today. That shit was like $46. It wasn't even a lot of stuff or anything expensive.
Right.
Just was regular shit. It's hard out here. That's
Yes.
why I said, as much as we are weighing in on finance, understand that the answer isn't always isolation or go fuck yourself. Look at people who are looking or working on solutions. Like even I use myself as an example. I'm already a certified electrician. I've worked I worked for a Fortune 500 company as a in management for about 7.5 years. I hated corporate. I hated it. It sucked. Anybody that's done corporate before understands what I mean by that. It's soul sucking and miserable. And I care about my quality of life, not just making the money.
Same.
So I had to push myself back, do work that was flexible, make myself contract work, freelance, all this other bullshit, so I could go to school and get yet another certification, so I could go into yet another field because I wanted to make myself viable. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharing my 10-year plan with everybody on the podcast
Mm-hmm.
because in 10 years, my intention is to be retired from the rat race. So my plan, and I made this plan, and during COVID, I drew up a vision board just to certify the plan that I was going to make. And that's when I first got my certification as an electrician. And the plan was I needed an active skill and a passive skill. So my active skills, my electrical work, I work with my hands. I know how to do all stuff. I can work a lot of different tools. Got tools right there. I'm looking at right now because I had to get something the other day for something. But anyway, um, and then I needed something passive, something I could do in the house, so that if eventually I do have a wife and I have my son over and whatever else, I could still be working, but I don't have to be on the street. So I could still kind of spend time with them while still taking care of my business and still bringing home that bacon. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's the difference though, Max. That's the difference. The difference is I don't mind if you're like financially not where you want to be and you're working toward it. You have a plan. When you said vision board and you just you know what I mean? Like that to me says, okay, I can get behind that. We
no,
don't
but
have to just
they have to be on executing movements though. Like you got
absolutely.
to see them doing something because a lot of people, upon as Leah will say, a lot of people chat. You know what I'm saying? Mad chat, that chat, 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 chat. And
Mhm.
they do a whole lot of chatting, but they don't do a whole lot of moving. With
Yes.
me, everything that I said I was gonna do, I have done some of it in less time than I said I was gonna do it in. And keep in mind, for those of you that think that you cannot accomplish, because I know there's people on here, and some people are probably struggling in different ways. They don't know how they can go back to school, how they could get whatever it is they need to get so that they can better themselves. I'm a
Mhm.
motherfucker. I could show you one of my time cards, the amount of hours I work 70 hours, 65 hours. And that's not even counting my consultation time. That's just one set of work.
Yeah.
And I still did this whole IT program, which is if you ever did one of those IT boot camps, it's years of information concentrated into a 1 year program.
Mhm.
And then when you take that certification, it's going to be one of, especially the CompTIA Security Plus, one of the hardest exams to take. And because you don't get a calculator, you don't get anything. You literally go in there. They don't even let you take your wallet or your ID or watch or nothing in there. You could lucky you get to wear pants and a shirt. You know what I'm saying? So you walking in there, you got nothing, and then they ask you all types of shit. Listen, there's nothing that any of you can't accomplish.
Mhm.
So even if you feel like you're down and you're not where you want to be, it is possible for you to do it. I'm not some superhuman magic fucking guy that can magically do this while doing that and bouncing this at the same time. I'm a no. I'm a man just like I'm a well, not even just a man. I'm a human being just like you.
Yeah.
It's just about hard work and determination. When you are determined to get something, you're gonna fucking get it because ain't hella high water ain't gonna stop you from getting what you need to get. And I've had some shit happen during this school year. My car almost tried to kill me, and all types of other stuff happened. And still, I'm standing right here, past my shit, and about to get another shit, setting up other things and making other moves happen. That's how you have to do it. You have to keep on pushing. I don't just say this shit and advise my clients while I'm walking a different path. I
Right.
can tell them this because I stand in my own power and fight against adversity every day, and I kick its ass every single fucking day. So if I can do it, it is up to you to sack up and get ready and understand it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna suck. You're gonna have some hard times. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna want to quit. And I promise you, you just gotta keep fucking pushing. Because the harder the journey, the greater the reward. Please
100%.
start talking over. I'm talking way too much. Sorry,
But
I
you
was
know,
preaching.
but you're speaking truth, and I think when we bring it back to dating, when it comes to someone, right? Like, say you decided, like, okay, I'm leaving my job, or this job is not the one for me, or something like that. As a woman, you starting to implement your plan, I can get behind that. But you just talk, like you said, the chatting, can't get behind that anymore because how long do we have to pay attention to the chatting and pay attention to? It's like, no, when I see you implementing something, I'm partnering right with you. You know what? You go ahead, you go to school, you do your thing. I got everything over here because I know that once you get everything that you need to get together, it's going to be, you're going to be coming along, you're going to lighten up the load. I think the goal, one of the goals in relationships is to lighten the load for each other. We should be able to complement each other. It should be reciprocity, like you said, synergy, right? And synchronicity and all of that. That's what we need. That doesn't mean that you have to be financially well off or even financially stable right now, but I need to see the action plan. I got to see the action plan in action and not just in conversation. That's what I can get with. And so then if you find, so for a man, that's the kind of woman that you're looking for. You're not looking for a woman who's like, "Oh, you don't you doing what? You in school. I can't rock with you." But then what happens in some cases, not all, is the man will be like trying to prove himself to that woman. Meanwhile, the woman who would have had your back is in the background somewhere. Right. So the goal is to
Actually,
match energy.
actually, the funniest thing that tends to happen, I have a story about that actually. It'll take it's really quick though. I'll make it really fast. So basically, I also promote Caribbean events here and there, whatever.
Okay.
So because of that, um, like we do a lot of things. Like we'll get a section, we'll get a do the bottles thing, whatever. It's financially viable for us, A, but B, because we're promoters, we kind of got to step out when we step out. So that being said, I was at one of the big Soca events over Labor Day weekend.
Mhm.
And me and the squad was there. We're in the elevated section, literally. I'm already 6'6". So, on the elevated section, I'm way over everybody. So this girl, and I remember this girl because she used to like bullshit around in front and all this stuff. And she would sound like she kind of wanted to link up, but wasn't sure. But then it was a whole thing. Anyway, so she saw me on there and she acts like she's been my best friend of the year because she see us up there. We got like about 12 bottles on the table and I'm standing there. I'm in my nice little outfit and shit. Look like $1 million. We chilling. It wasn't no flex shit. It just was, that's how we go out. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we all work hard. All of us are hardworking guys, career driven guys. We all do our thing and make money. But don't get it twisted. I make money now, but this ain't good enough for me.
Right.
This ain't good enough for me. I want the super big bag. I want that bag that falls through the floor when I put it down. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? I don't have that yet, so that's where I'm going. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, um, so she's waving at me. Hey, yeah, what's up? I'm looking. I'm like, hey, yeah, what's up? How you doing? You know, da, da, da. And it was so funny because the security at that event is so strict. No
Mm-hmm.
matter, and I mean, she has a hell of body. She got her body done and everything, so her body's banging. She was looking good, but security don't give a fuck about that. You don't got that VIP band on, they not letting you up. So he
Mm-hmm.
stopped. It was like, oh no, I know him. I know. He was looking. I was like, oh, sorry, boo, you can't come up here without the band. She's like, oh, da, da. This girl was texting me the whole time trying to get drinks,
Mm-hmm.
talking about maybe afterwards we could link up.
Mm-mm.
You know, the evil part of me was laughing at that. Like, you know, there's a dark side of me that would have said, yeah, I'm going to get that and I'm going to ragdoll her and then not even call her. But I didn't do that. Plus, honestly, at that time I couldn't anyway because I had other things going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But um, I ignored it.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted her and I blocked her.
And that's
because,
wisdom because that shows you that she's only there for the come up. She's only there for the benefit. She's not there for the process. She's not there for the work
hmm
and the stuff that goes behind it. That's wisdom, right? The thing is a lot of people don't have that wisdom. And so when you talk to people, I've worked with men who are like, oh, you know, now I'm really struggling and she's gone or she's giving me a hard time and blah 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 blah. But it's like, no, she showed you, and this is what we said last week. She showed you that was in her character, and you chose to overlook that because the benefits were to you were good at that time, but you were overlooking the fact that her character had deficits in it.
and you know what's funny? Is I actually had that happen to me because, like I said, I've been through a lot in my life. And
Hmm.
I'm very transparent with y'all on this podcast. And I'll tell you, I've been ups and downs. Like, I just spoke to my mom today, and it was me, my mom, my sister on the phone. And I just called her. She's like, hey, how you doing? Da-da-da. Keep in mind, I just saw her yesterday. But, and I was like, no, I just called you to just thank you for all the stuff that you did for us,
Hmm.
for me and my sister, because my sister doesn't remember everything, all the struggle that you had to go through. But I said, you know, I just want to acknowledge you, give you those words of
Yes.
affirmation. And I'm segueing. That's why I'm using the words of affirmation thing
Yeah.
because we're gonna segue into the next thing because we're getting a little long on time here.
Hmm.
Um, but what I just wanted to say is that we have to realize as a people in this dating atmosphere, stop expecting perfection when your ass is regular. We all have shit we need to improve on, whether it be financially, mentally, spiritually, or might be a combination of all three. Because
This is
honestly, I'm trying to improve in every single way. I'm in the gym, I'm meditating, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build a higher level of wealth. I'm doing all types of things. So I'm still a work in progress. I'm still building, growing, and doing all this other stuff.
right.
And my whole thing is that look at what works best for you, what vibrates on your energy. Who is the person that no matter how down you feel on yourself, who are the people? And you know, this goes beyond relationships, it's friendships too. Who are the
Yes.
people that are still there and will rub your back and they'll tell you that you got this and that you're a fucking and that you can win and that you can do this. Where is your chair? Where's your cheering section at? Because your
That's right.
friends and your relationship, your partner, they're supposed to be your loudest cheering section. Who are
100%.
those people? Because if you don't have those people around you, you're around the wrong motherfuckers.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that is probably the biggest part of your problem.
Yes. Your circle has to be tight. My sister's circle is it. I was thinking, I was actually reflecting today when I came back home from Mexico. Every trip I learned something new. And this trip just affirmed the fact that like my circle is so dope. I can be
Your
100%
circle is so
myself.
old
They're
with
so dope.
their napping and all that shit.
It's all right. We
Boo.
got we got balance. We got balance. We survived
Yeah,
everything that
they
day.
didn't get ain't nobody get pounded though, so
It's true.
boo.
It's true. But let me tell you, Max, like I was thinking there was a moment I was really irritable, and then not a lot of people get to see my irritable side. I don't like to feel irritable. It makes me uncomfortable. And one of the ladies said, where'd that couple go? And I said, they probably got killed.
Jesus. Really?
I was just really irritable. And so I after that, like we ended up like going and ATVing and all that other stuff. But the next day, it was such a huge joke at the breakfast table. They were laughing at, but the thing is, because that's not a part of me that I show, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I could show that, the fact that I could be myself, the fact that I could be transparently all sides of me, and it
Mm-hmm.
not be taken the wrong way or misperceived or anything like that. That just affirmed to me like, girl, you got the right people around you. And so when it comes to dating, I need the same in my partner. I need to be able to be 100% myself. There are very few relationships that I've been in that I was able to say, like, I was transparently me. They did not try to change me, box me in, or anything like that, or judge me. And I felt the true love in that relationship. That to me is relationship
Mm.
goals. Can you be your whole self? Can you be your spiritual self, your ratchet self? Can I be twerking today and listening to, Donnie McClurkin tonight and you not come at me or judge me? Can I be my whole self
Wait,
and
who?
Donnie McClurkin, the gospel artist. Okay, oh, okay, he's a gospel artist. I think he's a preacher too now.
That's
But
why I don't know what that is.
but I'm saying those are the many sides of me. Lettucey has a song called "Pieces of Me," right? Like women are really intricate. I think men are also. I know men are also, but for women, we're intricate beings, and we need to be able to be our complete selves, and our partner should be able to be their complete selves. That to me is what a healthy relationship is.
Hmm. That's fair. And that's something that I think is missing. And that's something I want to touch on. There's something that I wanted to touch on, which was actually what birthed this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that was injecting positivity into our relationships.
Yes.
Look at the bullet point. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? I'm
Uh-huh.
following the bullet points. I told you I have a good memory.
Yes, good
So
job.
so um like I said, injecting positivity into your relationships. This goes into everything that you do. Like I said, you talked about your sister circle. That is beautiful that y'all have that circle of y'all and y'all got each other and whatever. Because I need to see more of my women girlfriending on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to speak to my black women especially. We are at the bottom of the totem pole in a lot of places on this planet. A lot of times, all we got is each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we let a lot of petty, stupid, ignorant fucking nonsense keep us segmented from each other, where each other are each other's greatest resource.
100%.
And you don't understand how your struggle, if you were to add that next person into it, they could help you get out of that. And if
Yes.
you don't have those kind of people, if that is not the kind of energy that you have vibrating in your matrix, you have to get the fuck out of that, ladies. You
Mm-hmm.
know what's a red flag for me? And I'll keep it a beam with you. Two things are red flags for me. A girl who leans on her friends too much as far as how she gauges her opinion on anything
Right.
or how she reacts on anything. I'm looking at her like, okay, so she doesn't know how to stand on her own too, and she's influenced by her friends. This could become a mess if her friend wants to hate. And then the other one is the girl who don't got no friend.
Mhm.
Because I'm looking at her like, what is so toxic about you? You sit up here and say, oh, girls be hating on me. Listen, I've seen some of the baddest motherfucking girls on this planet. I used to model. I will tell you, I've dated quite a few of them. And I will tell you, they had friends. And they were friends that they grew up with from young and whatever.
Yes.
Or they might be friends that they just made. It doesn't matter how, it's not the length of the friendship, it's the quality of the friendship.
Yep.
And y'all have to, much like any other relationship, love, romantic, lifestyle, otherwise, it doesn't matter. If y'all are not pouring into each other and doing for each other, if it's only one person that's contributing to that situation, then that situation is parasitic friendship or parasitic relationship and will end in you being drained and miserable if
Yes.
you're the one that's doing all the pouring.
Yep.
So if you feel that way, you got to get the fuck out of that. In those cases, it's better to be alone because there are, like I said, the universe puts people in your place for a reason, even if they're new people, whatever. You'll be surprised how much this person might really be a real one, while the other person really was just preying on your downfall the whole time. Or they love to see you cry. They love to see you struggle
Mhm.
because their lives are miserable. And in seeing your pain, it makes them feel more sated because they're not in pain by themselves.
Mhm.
Like these are things that you have to realize because and listen, our community, ladies, black women. I'm a black man. I was born of a black woman. I'm not hating on no other races. Like I say all the time, I'm a multicultural person, but I default to my black people first, and I have to look out for them because we are a very oppressed people,
Mhm.
even to this day. And as a man, as a proud black man, strong black man that loves his women, I'm saying this with all the respect in the world. Y'all got to cut out the fuck shit.
Mhm.
All that ghetto ass, ignorant ass shit, that shit got to stop. We got to look out for each other. Y'all have to take care of each other. You
Yes.
want to feel protected if ain't no man protecting you? At least you got your sisters until the right man who will protect you comes along.
I completely agree with you, Max. I know for me, when I think of my sister circle, it's so solid. Like I tell them all the time, like they're my lifeline. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the balance that I wouldn't be able to go as hard in my work life as I'm able to go. I wouldn't feel so safe to even explore and tell them about my, experience in the LS because I know that I have this confident foundation base. And these are women who have shown improved when it's down to the wire, they're there. I could text them like I need some sister time and they're here, and no questions
Hmm.
asked, no nothing. And it is important in your friend circle, your social life, your people, they do reflect you. And my women is we're so diverse and we love different things and we do different things and they're single and married and children, no children and just experiencing life, and it's a beautiful thing. And so we need to support each other, we need to make sure that we love on each other and encourage each other. And I like what you said, the fact your relationships, male and female, are a reflection on how you're going to be able to show up in a intimate relationship. So if you can't show up to your friends, to your family, if you can't give those words of affirmation, like I said to you, like I'm very close to my father and he's taught me like don't let your black man go outside and he's stressed and he's overwhelmed because you need to be a safe haven, and so because I have that, I know I'm much more of an asset to my partner than someone else because they may not have that knowledge, but I'm also here to share that so that we can all have it. And we can, I'm not selfish in whatever wisdom I'm able to gain and attain. I want us all to win, right? And that's the goal. And so when we talk about all topics, I want all of us to win. I want us all in healthy, happy, flourishing, loving, reciprocal relationships. I want us all to be where we need to be and being happy and safe because we got the world to fight. We don't need to be fighting amongst each other.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We spend too much time being crabs in a barrel. Even with our brothers, I will say this as a community, we have to learn to rise above the bad shit that's going to try to work against us because we have enough things working against us. Half of us can't even drive a decent car down the street without the cops unlawfully trying to pull us over just because we DYB.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or DWB, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But my thing is that when you have enough things on the outside that you have to combat, the things that you can control. You know, I love to use the Jewish people as a point of reference on this. And this is nothing against them at all. I actually love the way their community is set up. If
Yeah.
you've ever seen their community structure, I've seen it closer than a lot of people probably have, but I've seen it. And I'm talking like the Hasidic Jew communities and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These people work together. They support each other's businesses. They even have their own freaking volunteer ambulance and
Mm-hmm.
security force and all this stuff. The city recognizes it because they work as such a unit that they're too strong to be ignored. When you work as a unit, and I'll show you an example on a basic level. You see this finger? Now, my one finger is probably stronger than some people whole fucking hand. But this one finger ain't gonna do but so much by itself. But if I turn this motherfucker like this, and then I go stall off on something, I'm gonna break through that shit. Because now, with the unification of all the different fingers, and each finger representing a different facet of our community, all coming together, that empowers us to be more powerful. And that doesn't mean being violent or being ignorant. No, actually, to the contrary. If you're tired of the police wrongfully harassing you, if you're coming together as a community on a regular basis and you're doing things like, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say the V word, you got to vote, you got to be active, you got to do all of that stuff, but this stuff matters. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
these people, don't let people's propaganda and the ignorant shit that you hear from your homie on the corner. That potent shit is bullshit. Oh, such and such is bullshit. Because that motherfucker then got slammed on the wall by the cops so many times, he don't know which end is up half the time anyway. What you want to do is look at the obvious things. Notice how hard systemic things are put in place to keep us from coming together. How they do things like gerrymandering in our communities with the voting polls to make it harder for us to vote and more inconvenient so that we'll look and say, I don't feel like being bothered. It's too much headache. And it's New York. New York is going to vote Democrat anyway. It doesn't matter. Really?
Yeah.
So how does that work when it's a state election?
That's right. That's
You
right. A
understand what I'm
local.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, your state elections and local elections are the things that affect you the most because
Yeah.
the federal can't override your state's rights. If you're going to talk some shit, at least do what I did. Do your research. Because you ain't got to believe me. I'm a guy on YouTube or on Facebook just telling you some shit. You could go look it up yourself. There's a separation between federal authority and state authority. And all the rights that the state has is the rights that the federal government does not have. The federal government can't supersede the state on certain things unless it's special circumstances. And
Mm-hmm.
even in that, they still have to have majority on certain things. I know I'm taking this in a different direction, but it all comes together because it's about working together. It's about community. It's about getting your families together. It's about getting your lives together because you will not have any successful relationships if your house is a mess. And we're not talking about folding clothes and sweeping the floors. We're talking about your house as in your household,
Right.
um your family
Unification.
environment, your inner circle. Those things are a mess. There's no way you're going to be able to have a successful relationship no matter how great a person you may be because you're going to have too much chaos surrounding you to see the greatness in front of you.
And to your point, Maximus, I think what you said, I wrote down, is that the Jewish community and the things that they've established are recognized by the state. And I
Yeah.
think that it's not for lack of unification is the fact that we are penetrable, right? And it's not that we don't want to unite, it's not that we don't recognize our power, it's that when we're in positions of power, we have to make sure that it's impenetrable. We can't be penetrated, right? Because we have done that, right? We have the Black Panther Party and Black Wall Street, and we've worked on establishing banks in our own communities and things like that. And the government was able to use people within our communities against us. And that's where the work needs to be done. It's not that we don't have
Mm-hmm.
the wisdom, the ability, the knowledge, the resources, the people, the talent, the strength. It's that the we have to work on those people who aren't aware, those people who have been slammed up by the police so much that they're traumatized and they don't know how to come out of that, right? And the fact that we're not supposed to be in the barrel at all anyway. So it's like it's not that
Mm-hmm.
we don't have everything that we need. We just have to focus on building it. And our family unit is what starts that. And so the relationship is the background, the foundation of that. And so once we make sure that we're impenetrable, nothing can get into this unit, to your point of what you said earlier, nothing outside of us can get in between us, then we can grow that, then we can grow the family, then we can grow the community, then we can grow the power at large.
So I'm gonna use a term that is actually a term you learn in cybersecurity, but this actually can be applied to real life. It's a
Okay,
seven
IT.
lay. It's a seven. It's a no, but I mean it's a real thing because I like to implement things that I learn into other stuff, and it's basically the 7 layers of security. You start off. This is your internal base. This is inside that main center is you and your significant other. Y'all are the beginnings of that family unit. Outside of that unit, on that next layer, that's where your friends are. That's where inner circle people are, whatever other people you really hold close to you, that's there. Then on the outside of that, you have your extended community of people. Those are the other people that are in your cultural environment who are likely like like-minded as you and function in the same way you do. Those are your peers. Then you have the co-workers, you have just general civil servants, you have different legislation out on the 6th layer, and on that 7th layer is just everybody's general social posture.
Mhm.
So it's 7 layers. I literally just made this up. I wish I'd have wrote that down 'cause I ain't gonna remember that shit.
That was dope.
But the thing is, you have those 7 layers. Once you fortify that inner matrix, that first layer there, and then you bloom that out and use that and accept nothing but that same energy throughout your entire core. That
Mhm.
means from the inner deepest thing to the person on the furthest outreaches, everybody is commanded and required to treat you a certain way. And if they are not abiding in that energy, they have to go.
Mhm.
You have to set the tone. This goes for your family, this goes for your friends, your boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever you identify them as. This goes for all of that
Yep.
because your life will be so much easier when you have a fortified community behind you. The moment that you feel yourself falling on a little bit of a moment, if you're having a hard time, you ain't gotta go run to the bank or go holler at some loan shark. You go say, hey friend, I'm gonna get paid on Friday. I'm fucked up till then. Could you spot me? And more than likely, if they can, they gonna help you.
And
And
can
that's
I
how it
interject,
is.
Maximus? I just want to
Please
say
do.
a real friend is not going to wait for you to ask.
Sometimes they don't know.
I'm saying, like, from experience, for instance, I have to drop $3,000 on my car. And before I went out of town, Kit was out of town for a week before that, and she was like, "All right, well, just take my car while I'm out of town. That gives you some time." You know what I
Right.
mean? So without me even having to ask, your people, they should know, right? Because the goal is communication as
Mm-hmm.
part of the prerequisite. So now that they know or they see what's going on, they're aware. Let me provide a solution for you, right? Your kid's struggling
Mm-hmm.
in school. I'm a teacher. let me help your kid in school, right? No problem. You don't have to worry about it at all. Because that's part of the, like people who know, once they know, you shouldn't have to ask.
And that's fair because I'll tell you this. This is my favorite kind of friend. And I remember because I had some people I used to hang out with. Um, we are fighting over who's paying the check.
Yes.
We're not sitting here with a fucking calculator saying
What you
carry the
eat.
one. Oh, who ate what? Oh, you had an extra glass of champagne, so
Uh,
you got to put in this much. Nah, let me tell you another sign. Girlfriends, I want y'all to listen to me. Come here. Come real close to this. I want y'all to pay attention to this part, please. If you really want to test your friends, have a birthday dinner. If you have to spend even $5,
oh,
you
yeah.
fucking drop them bitches. Oh, pardon
Oh.
my language. Those women,
No, those are the bitches. We drop the bitches. We keep the women.
you drop them. Because let me tell you something. And I will tell you this, and this is just me. Like I have this girl that's been my friend for mad years.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about Leah this time, I'm talking about somebody else. This girl been my friend for mad. She's literally a family. She's a friend of the whole family. The whole family knows her.
Hmm.
Um, and I know her family. We know our fans know each other, so it's like a whole thing. It's a little community thing, anyway. So um, we help each other out all the time. One year, her birthday came along. She had a WhatsApp chat. She's like, "Yo, all right, we're gonna do a bottle package." It was actually, I think it was for some event I was throwing or something. I don't know if it was or if it was something. I don't remember. But anyway, so I was in contact with the promoter. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, we putting up this much." Everybody that she had in her circle at that time, which none of them are there anymore, by the way, but everybody that was in that circle at that time, all just contributed their portions. You know who paid for her portion and my portion?
Mm.
Why? I'm not her man. I'm not fucking her. It's my friend.
You're her friend.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I did that because I'm like, and she has money. She makes more money, way more money than I do. But she makes money. But it's not about that. It's about the fact that it's her birthday.
Yep.
Why is she going in her pocket? You
I never
understand what
go
I'm
in my
saying?
pocket. I never go in my pocket on my birthday. The ladies in my circle, we never go in each other. Like, if it's your birthday, you're not going in your pocket. Somebody's birthday is tomorrow. They're not going to be going in their pocket. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we're not doing that. You can't even get in my circle unless you've proven that's important. You can't get into that part of my circle. I don't celebrate my birthday really with people who aren't in my circle because it's such a special time for me.
Right.
So
Like one of my boys, um, matter of fact, is the same guy that I did this IT program with. Me and him came up with this together. And we both kept each other motivated through the ups and downs of doing this program. Because you got to work with your brothers too, fellas. We got to work with each other too. And
yes.
sometimes we got to push each other, help each other out. Like I said, it's a community affair. And I know we're running a little long, but this is an important thing to talk about. You're good, Nova?
I'm good. I got my
All right.
water.
All right. No. I just want to make sure you're good on time.
Oh yeah.
Um, so the thing is about this, and this is so important, is that when my birthday came, and I'll never forget, my boy, and he's one of them guys, he's always buying a bottle of shit, do shit. This guy, I forgot, what was it? I don't even remember which bottle it was that he bought me, but that shit was fucking expensive. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, we've done that for each other before, but it just was the fact. He bought that shit, bottle girl came to show you, blah, blah, blah. And then he took that shit to happy motherfucking birthday, pushed that shit into my chest and was like, that's you. That's love.
That's love.
That's how he shows love. Now, granted, there's different ways. You know, you ain't gotta spend $500 on a bottle. That bottle was definitely like 500. But you ain't gotta do that. But my thing is do whatever you can. It doesn't have to be monetary. I'm using these monetary examples because these are things that I've experienced. You just have to be there in whatever way that you can. Your friends know what you're capable of, so they know you might not have it financially, but every
Right.
time there's an emotional crisis or whatever else, you are there front and fucking center and
That's
saying, okay, let's brainstorm, let's game plan what we gonna do, such and such and such. How can we get out of this? Well, remember that we word again. See that we?
it's the we. It's the
It's
we.
the we. Because we get you a lot further than me.
Yes.
I'm a strong ass dude. I could probably push a car a little bit if it's put in neutral. Oh no, depends on where it is, but I could push it. But I'm just saying, my thing is, I can, but do I want to?
Right.
It's way easier if you have a whole crew helping you do that push and you can stare and push and get that shit where it needs to go if it ain't moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with anything in life. And then, yes, people say, oh, what does this got to do with relationships? Everything.
Everything.
Because this is why a lot of our relationships don't work. This is why our single parent household rate, black people, is so high. It's because we keep letting ourselves get fragmented. Like Nova said, we keep letting people penetrate us. And sometimes it's our own people because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Some of them is the ops. Some of them ain't gonna want nothing but to prey on your downfall. You've got to be mindful of these things so
Yes.
that you can prepare yourself. And if you have the right people around you, they're going to let you know, like, yo, I don't know what's up with old boy there, but you might want to watch him because he's a little fun. You understand?
Yep.
And with the women, it's the same thing. They
Mm-hmm.
will be there. They'll be like, yo, I mean, she seemed okay, but I don't know about her. Something about her, she be moving,
Mm-hmm.
And they will be able to insulate you. And you can insulate each other from a lot of the bad actors that's out here.
Absolutely.
God, I'm using IT terms again. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of those books lately. Y'all pardon me, y'all. I'm still,
It's okay.
my IT
It's
brain's
okay.
still.
You're an expert.
I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. I told you I never want to claim myself to be a master at something. I'm just an advanced student of some things and intermediate in other things. But I'm always a student because I'm always learning. You got to keep yourself in that frame of mind too. But this has been going on for a really long time. And I have to go through the announcements before we get off here because, as you do know, it is almost New Year's Eve, people. You know what that means? That means there is a party going on. Look at
Yes.
that. New Year's Eve, discreet friends, temptations. I'm going to tell you right now, book your parking in advance if you got to drive. I would say if you can get a hotel in decent distance, you might be better off just taking the Uber and getting fucked up. I'm thinking of doing that too now that I'm thinking about it. That might be an Uber night
For sure.
just because I want to drink.
Yes.
You
Celebrate.
know what I'm saying? I want to drink. And I know Ubers are going to be marked up, so I'm going to have Lyft on call too because Uber try to rob me. I'm going to use Lyft. But I do Uber too, so I probably can get a discount. We actually get discounts. I didn't know that, but we actually do.
Uber
Yeah.
drivers.
hmm
Okay. I
When
can, I
we
can.
use it,
So.
when we do it, we get a reduced price.
Okay.
I've noticed that a couple of times when I've had to take Ubers because my car would need to work or whatever, and I'll take the Uber or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, this price ain't bad. Then I realized they're giving me a cheaper price. But anyway,
Get your
this event's
transportation.
gonna be lit. I think this is something that all you should pull up to. This is something, whether you're lifestyle, not lifestyle, you can come in and have a great time. Of course, there will be opportunities to do shit. I will say you want to come with some dress down stuff in case you want to get more comfortable after the ball drops. If you want to drop something else, keep the option open. You know what I'm saying? I always say it's better to have and not need than to need and not have.
That's right.
So I might bring something there, just in case. I don't know. We'll
Okay.
see how that goes. I mean, I don't really get into much inside the clubs, but I'm just saying in case something does transpire, at least I got something going.
That's
But
right.
anyway, so that's the New Year's Eve party. There are no ticket purchases online. You buy at the door, all that yada yada.
Yep.
So pull up, wear a nice outfit, and get ready to toast it up with us as we swing into this new year. You know.
Yes.
So we gonna move on from that. Um, Shout out to the Sweet Friends podcast. Comes on every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The DF Nation, of course.
DF
All of that
Nation.
good stuff. Hosted by Jonathan and Izzy. They have great conversations over there. You want to check that out. All that good stuff. Um, let's see what else we got here. I also want to shout out BLX Experience. You can find them on Facebook. They have the YouTube, but I've noticed that they're also on the Facebook lately doing it. They're kind of like doing it, bouncing from different places. I'm a little confused with it the way it's going. But I like to support my brothers nonetheless, and I just want to well, brothers and sisters, excuse me. So I want to
Yes.
support them over there, and you can pull up, you can search them with that same name on Facebook and find them. They have a big ass Facebook group too. You can join
Hmm.
that. Very educational stuff they talk about on there, all of that good stuff. And what else do we have here? The only other thing we have here right now is the
Take
hotel
over.
takeover. And that is going to be my birthday weekend, August 22nd to
Yeah.
the 24th. The big old, discreet. Now, this is between us. There might be an orgy that I'm going to set up that day. Well, not that day, that weekend.
Put that in my calendar.
The only thing is, clothing has to be to a minimal to none in that room. Once you're in there, this ain't a looky loo room. This isn't a discreet friends activity. This is a Maximus likes to host random orgies in the room sometimes activity.
All right.
So I'm not saying I'm doing it for sure, but if the mood strikes, I'm gonna just put up the signal and I'm gonna send the ladies to let the other ladies and gents know. And it's gonna be done very discreetly. Pull up to room 000 and blah blah blah, and that's how it's gonna go down.
Well, I'm gonna be in room 001 so that I could come in from next door.
Adjoining rooms, right?
Adjoining rooms.
Adjoining rooms.
I'm
That's what
booked
it's
and
gonna be.
ready.
I'll be like, all right, man, shit, listen. And that's what it's all about. And for those of y'all who said, oh no, but I don't have the link. How am I supposed to book my room? Check the chat because look at that. I just gave you the link because you ask and I shall provide. Look at that. Look at this.
Okay.
And you use the code MAX when you're buying your tickets so that you get that special recognition that you bought the tickets from here. And it'll give you a nice little deal and you'll be straight. And then your ticket will be booked and you'll be pulling up. And trust me, these hotel rooms is going. And it's not even spring yet. And these hotel rooms is already flying.
It's not
So
even
this
January yet.
you're probably gonna see an overflow going on. And I'm just gonna tell you, the main hotel is naked from the check-in. You literally could walk up to the check in, and drop him right
Take your
there
clothes
and walk
off.
naked to your room if you want to. Like that's how real this shit gonna be. And there's a whole pool area to swim at and all this other shit. And there's all butt ass, booty, whatever naked you want to be. Me, I don't wear clothes because I'm a distinguished gent. So you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna just be walking around free. But I encourage y'all to do the same, you know, to not do what I do, but to do what the others do, which
Mm-mm.
is get bucket naked. I'm gonna also put it in the comment section for the Facebook people that is observing. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Lem's got her room already. She said, I am ready.
Let's go,
Boom.
lambs.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna go there and we gonna swing like we ain't never swung before. And there's such a collaboration of people. I don't have the name of all the people. We are collaborating with a good friend of mine, Lola from Lola Entertainment.
Yes.
Um,
Young and
I've known her for
sexy.
years. Young and sexy. Thank you. See, you got the
Mhm.
names down pat. Oh, I love Young and Sexy. Young and Sexy lives up to his name too.
Yes, they do.
Hmm. And they and will and will. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
that
gonna be
shit is
epic.
gonna be so that shit is gonna be lit. When
Hmm.
I say it's gonna be lit, we got people flying from all parts of the country to come to this shit. Some people crossing the water to come to this shit. Oh
Already
yes, and my
booked.
people in Maryland, thank you, Lems, the boudoir.
The
Yes,
bourgeois.
boudoir. They're gonna be in the building. They ain't promoting this too. I mean, listen, man. I'm just gonna say this is where you want to be at. I
Absolutely.
mean, whether you're black, orange, purple, or yellow, red, or blue, there's gonna be something for you.
Hey.
So I strongly suggest that you do what's best and get involved in this mess.
That's
Cause
right.
we are the motherfucking best.
Hey.
Anyway, I ain't gonna sit up here acting like I know how to rhyme on something.
Hit him
I'm
with the
just talking some shit
freestyle.
right now. Ain't no freestyle. I ain't doing that. We ain't going there. I ain't one of those guys. I'm over 40. My time to blow up already done passed. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we are gonna have to continue this. You want to continue this next week?
100%.
Okay, so we're gonna continue this next week because it's already been damn near 2 hours and we are way over time, and I need to do some other stuff. So we appreciate everybody from pulling in, and I'm gonna find an outro so this thing doesn't look so raggedy when we're ending it. We're not just standing here staring, looking stupid. Like
We look great.
exactly, because you ever seen the news when they're sitting there and they're waiting to fade into black, and they're just
Awkward
sitting there
smile.
staring at the screen like this, like. I don't want to be that. I want to put something up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we gonna do it. I want to create a new intro too, but I think I'm gonna have to holler at a graphic person for this because I don't have the time to do this, and it takes a little bit of time to put that stuff together. We have somebody in the community that is
I was gonna
on
say,
the
isn't
graphic
Angie?
thing.
Doesn't Angie do things like that?
If she does, let me know.
I thought so.
Because I was thinking of this guy that I remember does it, but I'll use whoever. I
Hmm.
just want to support somebody in our immediate circle
Yes.
that can help create some stuff for us. Eventually, we're going to need somebody to do some production for us so we could get some clips and do some other stuff because YouTube likes shorts. And I find myself scrolling through a lot of shorts too. So I realize shorts are kind of addictive because they're
Hmm.
algorithmic. Once you start looking at one short of a certain type, it keeps showing you shorts of that type.
Yeah.
So we need to follow an algorithm out this motherfucker.
Hmm.
See how I
That's
keep saying we? I
I
don't say
love it.
me. I like to say we because it's a community thing. We working together right now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
we gonna make it shake how it shake. Anyway, appreciate all y'all for being on. Lova, you got anything before we get off this thing?
Thank you, and let's stick together. Let's make these relationships better.
Yes, and we're gonna have a part two. The next week's title is gonna be the dating book part two because we have more stuff that needs to be thrown in here that we didn't touch on. I know you got the bullet points then. I know we didn't hit those.
That's okay.
I told you I keep track. Um, but we're gonna do those next week, and we're also gonna delve into because we didn't even get to the sexual aspect or any of that other stuff yet. And no, there's some big things in that need to really be hit. That probably does need its own episode anyway, so we're gonna dig in on that one next week. But
Hmm.
anyway, peace out, y'all. Good night, good luck, and stay blessed. Now the awkward stare.